In this video, I'm going to be showing you a unique way of improving your product page conversion rate, which surprisingly not a lot of people seem to be talking about, and that is A/B testing. Now, some of the most successful companies like Amazon, for example, run simple A/B tests all the time. Now, with A/B tests, it's like picking low-hanging fruit, because all we're going to be doing is making a simple change so that a third of the traffic that come to this product page will see this image, another third will be seeing this image, and another third will be seeing this image, because it's going to redirect to these different variant URLs in order to show these different images. Now, as I said, it's very easy to implement, it doesn't take much time, and you'd be surprised by how effective these simple changes can actually be. You can increase your conversion rates literally many times over just by even making simple changes like product image changes, headline changes, copy changes, all those sort of things. And yeah, I'm just surprised that not many people actually do this. So what I'm going to be showing you is how to create this test from scratch, from start to finish, using a free platform that allows us to do what we want to do, and it's going to be easy to implement. You don't have to be technical, it's not going to take much time, and if you use something like a CMS-based e-commerce platform like WordPress or Wix or WooCommerce or Shopify, it's still going to work on those platforms as well. Now, you can do the theoretical thing that people say if you add things like customer reviews and trust logos and all those kind of things, then theoretically it should improve your conversion rates. Now, while that may be true, it also may not be true, because it depends on the context. And how do you know what changes are having the best effect and if they're actually having a positive effect at all? So with A/B testing, we are going to be able to track all of the important metrics that will allow us to see specifically what is yielding the best results. So stay tuned and I'll show you exactly how to do this. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is to create an account on the A/B testing platform. So in order to do that, we just need to head over to crosimple.com and then you just create an account from there. Now, I already have an account, so I'm not going to be doing it in this video, but all you'll need to do is fill out that form and then just create an account. So it's pretty straightforward. So once you have your account, all you need to do is just log in and then head over to the dashboard. And so we now have our account, and the next thing we need to do is we need to associate our website with our account. So to do that, we just need to create a website. And in this video, I'm going to be creating an A/B test for the actual demo CRO Simple site. So all I need to do is I need to add in that URL as the URL of the website, and then I'm just going to type in the name. So whatever your site is, whatever the URL is, just enter that URL with the prefix into the URL bar. So whatever your URL is, just enter it there and then submit. So now we have our website associated with our account and our account created. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to install the tracking script. So the tracking script is really simple and easy to do. All we need to do is select our website and it will come with a script. So all we need to do is copy that script, and then you need to go wherever you need to insert it into the head of your website. So in this demo, I just have a simple WordPress site. So if you have something like Shopify or Wix or SquareSpace or some sort of CMS, or if you hard code your website, however you do it, it's easy to do. All you need to do is you just paste in the script just before the closing head tag. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be that, but paste in your scripts inside the head of your website. And then once that's done, that will associate your site with the tracking script, so that when we create the test, then it's just going to track all of the metrics on your site, and it's going to be able to allow you to actually create an A/B test. So at this stage, we've created our accounts, we've created the website, so we've associated it with our account, and we've installed the tracking scripts. And in order to create a test, we are going to have the original page URL. So in this case, this is the URL of the e-commerce web page that we're going to be testing. And in this test, what I want to do is I want to just have different URLs that contain the different images. So you're going to have to be able to create different URLs with the different images on. I mean, if you're more advanced, you can actually use CSS and JavaScript, but I'm just going to be creating this assuming for non-technical people. So all you're going to need is the original test page like this, and you're going to need the variant pages of the variants that you want to test. So if you create a separate page with a separate image or whatever you want to test, all we need is to use those different URLs. So we'll have the variant URLs, we'll have the original test page, we've got the tracking installed, and we've got the website associated with our account. So now we are ready to go to the next step. Okay, so the next stage is actually optional here. You don't need to do this, but in this case, I'm only interested in tracking clicks on the add to cart button, because I'm only interested in tracking how many people add this item to the cart. Now, if you don't do this step, it's still going to be tracking the default metrics anyway, which still includes things like clicks on buttons and time spent on page, all that kind of stuff. But I just want some slightly more specific metrics about clicking this add to cart button. So you don't have to do this, but if you do this, then we just need to add a simple attribute to the HTML of this button in order to track the clicks to the button. So if you have access to the HTML, then all you'll need to do is in wherever your HTML is. I'm only doing it in the DOM here, but this won't actually make the change. But if you have access to the HTML, all you need to do is add this line to the button attribute. So we need to add a data AB with a value of CRO-simple. So if you add this, then all it's going to do is it's going to allow your script to track clicks on this specific button. Now in this case, I'm just going to get rid of that. In this case, I'm actually using WordPress and I don't have direct access to this HTML. So what I need to do is I need to write some simple JavaScript in order to target this attribute. So in order to do that, I just need to add this script. So this is just a template. And if you, for whatever reason, can't access your HTML, then you can do this as well. And I just want to add this script above the script that we added. And I want to replace the query selector field with the actual element. So in order to get the actual element, you need to open the inspector and you need to actually click on the item and then create a selector. So what this will do, by clicking that plus button, it's added some CSS that we can use to target this element. So if I go and add that in the query selector, now note that if I refresh the page now, it's not going to have the data AB attribute of CRO-simple. So there's no data AB attribute of CRO-simple, but if I now save the changes and then if I refresh the page, it should then add the data AB attribute of CRO-simple. So if I now refresh the page, now you can see that it has the data AB attribute of CRO-simple. So as I said before, you don't need to do this, but I'm just fussy and I want to track more specifically this element. So the next thing I want to do is I need to create the pages for the actual original page and the pages of the variant, because we're going to be testing this page and we're going to be redirecting traffic to each of the two variant pages. So in order to do that, we just need to go to our account and we need to go to pages, select the website that we want to create a page for, so whatever your website is, and we need to just create a page. So I want to create a page for this original page, so I'm going to call it Aviator Sunglasses Original. So we've got a page for that, and we also need a page for variant 2. So I'm going to paste in, or version 2 I'll call it rather than variant 2, and version 3. So I want another page URL for version 3 as well. And once we've created those, we'll now have all of our pages created. So we have the original page, and then we have the second version, and then the third version of our pages. So now that we have everything ready, we can now create the actual test for our site. So to do that, we just need to head to the test page and make sure you have the correct test site selected, and then we just create a test. So in this test, I'm just going to call it Aviator Sunglasses Product Images, and then you just write a description of whatever you want. Now our goal is to increase sales because we want to track the amount of people adding it to our cart, and just select whatever your website is. And then the main test page, this is going to be the original page that the traffic is being sent to. So people landing on this original page, this should be the page for the main test page. So once we've created that, we now need to create our variants. So the first variant is going to be, well, the first different website URL. So the first variant will be this. So in order to add this, we want to give it a name. So this will be the dual image. And the description, well, there's two sunglasses stacked on top of each other. So we can call it whatever we want. And we are going to want to redirect users to this page. So whenever this variant is shown, it will just simply redirect from this URL to this URL in order to show this variant to the prospect. So we're not going to be using any CSS or JavaScript. If you're more advanced, you can instead, rather than create a different page, you can just inject simple code onto the site. But I want to keep this as simple as possible in case there aren't people who know how to code. So the next variant we want to create is the version 3. So we want people to see this variant when this shows. So we're just going to give it a name. So this was the human image. And you can add a description as well. And we want them to be redirected to this version 3 URL. So we're just going to simply add that as the redirect. So that is all we need to do to create the variants that we want to create. Now, the next stage is traffic allocation. So we have our 3 different pages. We have the control, which just means the original page. And we have the dual image, which is version 2, and version 3 being the human image. So in this case, I just want to equally split traffic to each variant. So we can just leave it as the default. By default, it will just split it equally. Now, I know that's 34 and those are both 33, but it must equal 100. So it's virtually split equally. So I'm just going to leave it as that and just proceed. So now we're on to the targeting options. Now, I just want to keep it simple. This is just meant to be a simple test. If you're more advanced or if you want to do specific mobile or desktop or tablet tests, then you can obviously just select the devices you want to show the test on. But in this case, those are fine. And as for the maximum visitor sessions, this just means show this to how many people before the test ends. So, I mean, I'm just demoing this, so it doesn't really matter what value I put in because I'm not actually going to run this test. But once you've figured out what you want to do, just click on next and then the test will be successfully created. So now we've successfully created our test, the tracking script has been installed, and what we want to do is we just want to preview each variant. So to do that, we just head over to the preview button on each of the 2 variants. So this should redirect to version 2, and it did successfully. So we're now on V2, and for the human image, this should redirect to version 3. And that's done that successfully as well. So we know that previewing these variants worked, and now all we want to do is we just want to activate the test. So now the test should be running successfully. Now what I want to do is I just want to test that the test is actually running. So I want to open in a new incognito window because we don't want any caching. And if I just visit the URL, now this should be tracking, it has not redirected, so this should be tracking the control, in other words, the original page. So if I just go to the console, I can see the CRO simple is tracking the button with the data AB attribute of CRO simple. So that's going to be tracking clicks on this button. So if I click this button and then wait, then that should now track that I have at least had 1 session. So if there's currently 0 sessions, if I now refresh, then now there is actually 1 session. So that means the test is working. So I also just want to test that the redirect variant works. So in order to do that, we need to again go in a new cache-less window and just enter the URL, and hopefully this time it'll actually by chance look at a redirected variant, and yes it does. So remember, I actually pasted this URL and it's redirected to the version 3 URL. So that means it's successfully working and it is displaying the variants according to the traffic allocation that we set. And there we go, so we now have 2 sessions as well. So that is everything, and that is basically the test completely created from start to finish, and it's now live as well. So that is everything you need to do to create a simple A/B test, and little changes like this can yield very good results for very little effort. So remember, there's a lot of simple tests you can make that make a big difference to your conversion rate. So thanks for watching the video, and one thing I would say before you go is if you want some ideas of what you can actually test, then just head over to this blog article that we've created, and there's literally loads of ideas of some of the things you can actually test. So if you have a product page, then you're going to want to be testing, you're going to be wanting to run A/B tests on them. And if you don't run A/B tests on them, then you're going to be missing out on improving your conversion rate. So I'd highly recommend that you at least try some simple A/B tests to your website. So check out that blog article. And another thing you can get for free is this guide, which just gives you test ideas. So you can download this for free. Thanks for watching.